Hello to my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal. Today we are talking about HAKSAL playing Genji in Tier 1. Overwatch League, the Vancouver Titans versus the LA Valiant. Before this video starts, of course, a like on the video really does help out. It's my birthday today, so it'd be very much appreciated. Comment, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We are still doing a giveaway on our Discord server, so link down in the description. There's a link to the Discord server. We're giving away 200 OWL tokens to either rep your favorite Overwatch League team or just to buy an MVP skin or another skin that you really want. This is co-sponsored by one of our staff members on the server known as Hole. Outside that, if you want to improve, rank up, and get better at the game very fast and also help support the channel, you can hire me as a private coach. It's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Hit me up on the Discord server in a private DM. Of course, down in the description, my Twitter and my Twitch is also linked. It would be appreciated if you guys would follow. It means a lot. Now, let's break this shit down. The Vancouver Titans played Dive versus the LA Valiants, Ryan, Diva, Mei, Kree, which later turned into a Mei Reaper team composition, and later even turned into a bunker with Narissa. So let's talk about how these guys are so good, and more specifically, we're going to be focusing on reviewing HAKSAL's Genji so that you guys can learn how to play Genji much better. I think this is a really good example of both the level of pro play, but also that professional players are not perfect, which I think that a lot of people are struggling with. I know, at least I struggled with this for a very long time, that if, you know, I missed a single shot, I was disappointed in myself, because, pros never miss. But when you start coming into the scene, and what I learned, you know, a lot of seasons back, maybe back in like season 3, is that even, you know, the professional players have mechanical misplays, and they miss shots, and they do weird shit, and that's completely cool. But HAKSAL is just generally really fucking good on Genji. And one of the things that I want you guys to really pay attention to, and therefore I want to highlight it this first here in Step Banana, is how they do their dive setup. So this is a very common way of them to setting up their dive. So they will have a Sombra here on the off angle who can hack, who can also land, who can potentially get up here or at least shoot from this low ground if needed. She ideally potentially would have wanted to be helping on disengage. You have your Diva close, your Winston for the back, your Ana set up in a range so that she can see people on the high ground and heal and also land nades and sleeps. And then again, you close on statue so that he has an area to stage for. When you play dive, what you have to remember, especially if you want to play this competitively with a team, is that you're not diving a target. So you're not like diving the Ana or diving the Kree. That is kind of like a second nature. What you're diving an area. This is known as a dive area, and that's where your monkey wants to engage. So right now, this monkey, he wants to engage this high ground, so you can see his Diva is a little bit closer. Notice how far back the monkey is, right? Because the monkey has a lot of ability. It can fly really far with his jump pack, compared to the Diva. The Diva is very slow comparatively and can barely make it up here. So she's actually going to close the gap herself, take some damage and get healed, while the monkey stays further back, doesn't take as much damage, but can engage further. Same goes with the Genji. The Genji will be paired up with the Lucio for a speed, to a certain extent, and then the Genji can engage from here as well, right? Either with a dash or getting speed in. He's actually going to engage with a dash because he's committing to the kill and wants to burst really fast. The Ana is further back because, again, she also wants to be effective in the dive area, so she wants to be able to hit nades by hitting it above the wall here, sleep dots, and also be able to heal her team if needed. And the same goes with the Sombra. Sombra is creating crossfire from a different angle, so again, the Ryan shield can't block this angle as well. Same goes for the Matrix. The Matrix will be trying to peel the front line or parts of the back line, right? Can't block this angle, and this angle at the same time, right? So crossfire, setting up that, and getting value. So everybody here is just setting up on the dive area. This is dive area, and everybody is trying to just position themselves so they can be effective on that dive area. Then the target comes out. So if the Kree is an easy pick, which he is, then the Kree is an easy target, and he will be the target during this dive. But in the end, it's focused on diving a dive area, not diving a target. And that's very important to do, because that way, it's much easier to coordinate dive, since everybody will be leaping the same area. Right? Imagine that the Kree was down here for some weird reason, right? And somebody's like, oh, let's dive Kree. Right? You can see how the Sombra could, for example, call, oh, let's dive Kree, right? Because the Sombra is in range. But that is outside of the dive area. The dive area is up here. So then this call is a bad call, right? So even though the Kree is alone and potentially is a good pick, because they're not staged for this dive, then these 5 players are good. And then, of course, since the Kree's down here, it's a 5v6, making it a little bit easier for us. So let's go to the live session. You guys will notice that how they set up their dive area, and I will try to point out numerous kind of dive areas that they will be fighting in. I actually just have to turn off the volume because it becomes impossible for me to talk if there's audio in the background. Okay, so they start actually out, and you see this, they start out on Fisher here, on Hammond, and you might be like, but why did he swap to a Winston? Why Hammond is far more survivable? If you notice, you know, they have Kree, right? They have Kree and May that can poke the Winston on his engage, right? They have a Diva, which really hard counters the Monkey, right? Both the Ryan and the Diva has like a lot of armor, right? And the Diva has a hard counter to the Winston. So why not just stay the Monkey? No, stay the Hammond, right? And the reason is the amount of CC. When the Hammond slams and engages, he's very predictable. He's very easy to hit with a sleep dart from Lastro. He's very easy to get stunned by KSP and then frozen by KSF. Right? And that makes him a very, very easy target. So by swapping the Monkey, they have a shield that can block the flash, that can cleave through all of these people with lightning damage, right? So they can cleave through and control it far more better. And also the engages become far more fluent in the way that they can be set up, because it's just leaping. There's no needing to set up the grapple or anything like that. That's why they will swap to the Monkey. Partially because of the CC, partially because they want this like cleave damage with the lightning hitting everybody, weakening them for HAKSAL and Stitch, and in theory also Janu, right? So let's watch this. Now notice how HAKSAL is actually going to rotate under here. Again, he just wants ult shots right now, right? The pathing of how HAKSAL is playing this is very easy. It's setting up for the dive here, right? So he can be effective in the team fight, as we talked about, right? Like he wants to be able to dive in here so that he can, again, he wants to play within, or at least be able to reach 15 meters of the opponent backline, so that when this McCree, for example, goes low, right? So he can come in here and dash combo it and deal at least 80 with a dash melee. More realistically, you know, 108, right? Even more realistically, it's more than that, like 136 damage or something in similar in a burst, right? For a player like HAKSAL, right? He wants to be able to do that. So that is priority number one, is to get to a position where he can do that. Priority number two, right? So that's number one, is just to be, you know, be able to affect the dive area, the area where my team is fighting, where people will be low, where I can help kill secure, because that's a part of my job. That's priority number one. Priority number two is just to build the play, right? So you can see how he's rotating under here, which is a longer rotation, right? But it allows him to get a free angle here to get a little bit of ult shots off, and then he rotates back through main, so he's safe, right? So he doesn't get, you know, spammed down by the Ana, the main, and the Kree. Rotates back through main and sets up on statue. So now he's ready for the dive, but that he got that little extra ult shot, right? 7%, that little extra ult shot, which actually does a little bit of difference. It's just like the mentality that HAKSAL is always active. You will notice this. HAKSAL is always active in the fight. There's never where he's not active. He's always looking for a kill or backing up his team on a fight. So, okay, so they're going to do the setup here. I need to go into third person. Here's trading. The dive comes in, right? Notice that he waited for the dive team to go in. It was a very well coordinated dive where, and I just want to highlight this because Twilight is an absolute fucking god. What Twilight lands a really beautiful nade here, right? Notice again, support players, if you ever watch this, and people that, you know, now it's rogue queues, now a lot of DPS also play. Notice how Twilight was trading damage here. He wasn't just pocketing his team, he was actually dealing damage here, building up the nano, and also may potentially, you know, keeping some pressure up, right? So he's looking for frags here, right? Even though Janu is halved, right? He's and Slime could need a little bit of healing, right? He's trading damage here. He's keeping them low. He's dealing damage, right? Forcing some heals, building up his nano, right? Looking for frags, right? And then just look at this nade. It's such a beautiful nade. I'm actually going to slow this down. It's such a fucking beautiful nade. I love it. Right? Notice the dive. The dive comes in here, right? The Sombra actually, Stitch actually does fuck up a little bit with his translocator and cannot follow that easily on this dive, which ideally he would have wanted. He would have, of course, have wanted to be able to follow up on this dive a little bit more than what he did, right? Also notice, yeah. No, let's just look at the nade, because the nade's fucking beautiful, right? Notice this nade. HAKSAL comes in and just perfect splash on top, right? This is also really good protection. This is one of the fun things with a Monkey, right? When the Monkey lands here, what does the DPS and the squishes go, right? They logically back off into here, right? So they back off. You can see Lastro has already done it, but KSP was a little bit slow. So let's go back to HAKSAL and watch this engage from him. I'm gonna keep myself on HAKSAL's POV. I just want to. It's just a beautiful nade. I fucking just love it. Okay, a little bit of poking here. Whatever. Get that fucking shield down. Took a little bit of damage. Went in there. Dives here. Notice how he missed 2 right clicks there, right? Because again, pro players doesn't have aimbot. I know, surprise, surprise, right? Kiting back to the point here, continuously poking, continuously staying active. If somebody gets low here, he could dash, right? If somebody was slow here that he felt like that, you know, was a good dive target, then he could have dashed there, right? He still has it. An answer comes in, gets the Ryan, overextends a little bit by diving in here, and it's gonna die because of it, because his team did not follow. But whatever. Like, again, pro players doesn't always play perfectly, right? So there HAKSAL died. Straight up fed, right? And that's fine. Jonal gets his mech back. The monkey goes in here alone to a certain extent. Again, now it might be okay, but now there wasn't dive area. He's doing this to a certain extent. Pressure to support. Notice how this one engage from the monkey split them off at the same time, and this is where you can see, right? McGravy is diving the back line of these 2 players, right, and getting completely split and isolated. He's not getting help. KSF is trying to follow, but their support's not split, right? So I'll just, I don't know, I'll just be watching this point of view. I'll actually just watch HAKSAL. Let's just walk back. Right, HAKSAL, again, notice this, right? HAKSAL, coming back for spawn, is still dealing damage, right? Still being active. Even though he died, he's still being active. 3, 2, 1, gets the frag, dashes here to try to be a little bit more effective. Now he has Blade. Now he doesn't chase anymore, right? Now he has his Blade. So now he's completed priority number 2. He's built his Blade. Now it's still about setting up, looking for the dive area, right? Setting up and looking for the dive area. Not build. Now he's going back and helping getting the cut up so that they can get it as far as possible for a good fight. And then looking for a Blade, right? There's no need for him to poke that much anymore outside of pressure because he already has the Blade. So if he's poking now, he's only doing for pressure. Okay. Right, he's going in here. And again, notice this engage on the Blade. Okay? Notice that he does not dash. He climbs up here, right? Now he has the same effect as if he would dash, right? He's above them, so he doesn't get CC'd, he doesn't get bursted immediately. He doesn't burn his Blade dash on the engage straight down if he doesn't need to, and he has a good angle. Notice how good angle. And again, this is the same thing as always, right? There was a dive area, which was here, or an area where our tanks want to fight. Fisher was trying to slow him down, drop the bubble, and so on. Disengage this, and now the Blade comes in with the nano. And again, no, he focuses a tank, and you might be, oh, he focuses tank, why don't he focus squishes, right? That was the easiest target to kill, and a tank kill is insane. Like, getting tanks are very important because they are such a huge damage source and such a huge carry source. Without tanks, most team composition just collapse. Just beautiful follow-up. Notice again that immediately as he goes in for the Blade, he gets 1 kill, he goes down here, tries to get the Lucio, he already dies, sees the Mei, does not chase the Mei, because that's fucking waste of time. Instead, he rotates back to his team, where there's damage, where there's a lot of easy kills that he can help kill secure, gets the Mei, gets the Reaper, right? And all of a sudden was far more active. Now he's still low, but he's getting healed back up, and he's going to their spawn, taking this high ground, and starting to, you know, looking for spam. Again, now he wants to build Blade again, so now he's rotating into the pattern. I'm kind of setting up, I'm kind of denying space, but I'm also just farming for my Blade, right? Deflecting the orb, right? 8 seconds until the deflect. He knows he won't need his deflect. There won't be a fight in the next 8 seconds, so that's completely fine. The bomb comes in with the EMP. Now he has deflect. Now he needed it because that's the Reaper, right? And this is like the one thing that was like a little bit quote unquote scuffed, right? You can notice that HAKSAL is clearly not completely ready for this, right? He burns the dash and the engage. That's something that you have to watch out doing in ranked, because he's following up on really good tank players, right? With the EMP and the bomb, but they are very sure this will get a lot of kills, right? But you have to watch out doing this in lower elos and when you're not playing it professionally, because right now he burns his one escape, right, in the enemy team. So if his team fucks up, right, they don't get the frag with the bomb here, HAKSAL's viability goes down. So ideally, what HAKSAL should have potentially have done here is that he should have, if the dive area is here, right? They want to EMP this area and they want to bomb it, right? So HAKSAL should have been much closer and ready to get up here. Potentially have played a sign or something similar, so that he could have gotten up here without burning dash if possible, right? So that he could come up here with dash and then rather starting, you know, dashing around and kill securing for his team. That's what he should have done. That's not how the scenario played out. Not everything plays out perfectly after plan. And he did his very best, and again, just follow up on the dive area as much as he could. Here he chases the Moira. Again, notice again how much he missed his shots, right? Completely fine, right? Pro players doesn't have aimbot, they don't always hit every single shot, and everything is a headshot, and it's just perfect. But you can also see that he's consistently hitting shots, right? Here and so on, right? So he's also consistently hitting shots, but sometimes he misses, and that's just how it happens. That just happens, right? Here's hitting some Lucio stuff. Here's the Mei. goes in, make cryo freezes, right? He group up with his team. Again, notice how he's targeting shit that his team is targeting. Now, there would be target calls in professional play, but you can do the same thing in solo queue by looking at who your team is fighting, right? If your monk is diving something or setting up, for example, here you can see, right, the Fisher setting up on the top and left, right? So you can predict to a certain extent that there might happen a fight over here, right? So ideally, you would want to, okay, my monk there might be happening a fight here. Who knows, right? The Titans does have a plan here about not fighting. They want to pay a little bit further. But ideally, you could say, if this is solo queue, that, okay, I as a Genji can push myself up here. So if my monkey want to, drop down and start killing, I'm on this high ground and I'm kind of in the same area and I can follow up on his damage, right? Because that makes my kills easier. Why should I solo kill somebody when I can instead group up and help burst stuff that my team is already damaging? They engage with drop beat. Notice how well HAKSAL saves his dash, right? Notice that he never burns it. He doesn't panic. Okay, he's poking, building out the blade, 84%, right? Helping push the pay a little bit. He's in the effective range. If the monkey wanted to go now, he could follow, okay? D.Va tries to contest Fisher. Jonal goes up to try to contest the D.Va, contesting the Fisher, right? HAKSAL is playing here, poking. Sound barrier comes in. He's kiting. He's getting speeded around, right? He's jumping around and so on. Twilight is being a god, right? He takes all the damage from the bomb there, but that's fine. Now he has blade. Now he dashes. Now he can start cleaning up, right? Good hack on from the Sombra. One of the reasons that they do play this is because of stuff like that. A clean animation cancel, for those of you who doesn't know that you can do that, right? So instead of playing the entire sheeting animation, we can watch the blade as well, because it's a sexy blade. Really good, right? Notice also that he fucked up there, right? He dashed the wall. He tried to dash back to his team, and he's fucked up a little bit by hitting the corner of something, right? So what you can do by now he's popping deflect, right? So he's deflecting. If you want to cancel it, you can just do a wall climb, and it will cancel the deflect animation, and that will to a certain extent cancel the sheeting animation, right? So he canceled the sheeting animation, so it's a little bit better. BM by sitting, dash back to the payload. Oh, he wasted dash, right? Didn't waste dash because he will have it before the next team fight, right? So it's not a waste because he will have it before the next team fight. Then goes for his deflect. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Now he has dash. Now he can follow up. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's back. Now the fight is happening, right? So he has it, right? For the next fight before he would ever need to use it. Dashes in on the EMP. To a certain extent follows around. Gets some frags here. Dashes back out. Coalescence comes out. He's just kiting. Twilight is doing an amazing job at pocketing him. Right? Now he's just kiting back with his team. Continuously farming. Staying active. Even on the retreat. He's staying active. He's still doing something. And imagine if something happened here. Right? That's why it's so important to stay alive and stay active. He didn't just disengage and leave his team. If something happened, let's say a play somehow happened. That some opportunity arose. He was still here with his dash ready to follow up. But he always had the option to dash out. Right? So he had the option to dash out, but he also had the option of following up in case something happened, right? 71 on blade, still farming, right? He's playing here, right? Getting matrix. Now he dash out because he was kind of stuck there and could quickly get burst, right? Same goes with here. He deflect, right? Kind of waste because, right? Oh, you only broke shield. Now they're just gonna put down another one. But again, 6 seconds. Notice that he won't need the deflect in the next 6 seconds. So he's gonna be poking here, right? He's taking a little bit of damage, but fine. He's just poking. Right? You might say, okay, why didn't he go high? Why didn't he go high ground? He could have gone high ground if he wanted to. Getting a little bit of an off angle, not take as much spam. It would have taken him more time, and potentially, I think they were trying to really force a blade very, very fast. Right? This is also where you see the coordination between. We've seen this a lot during this match between Stitch and HAKSAL. They hack the Lucio in case he has some barrier. When HAKSAL get nano for his blade, right? Also, so that Rain cannot push him. Right? So Rain here can't use sound barrier, but he can also not push HAKSAL away, which is one of the things that you have to think about when you're playing Genji and you see a Lucio, that he can just push you. So using your second dash can be kind of risky from certain situation if the Lucio player is really good, right? So he goes in here, targets his Rain, dashes in on the Reaper, and then it's just a cleanup with the blade, right? There's also why this team conversation is so nasty, because you have so many ultimates that can kind of combo and so on. So, what have we learned? The activity of HAKSAL, how active he always is on this game. He's always setting up, playing around the areas where he's going to fight. Sometimes he's a little bit far out, but that's completely fine, right? Here's something that you can learn on, and it depends on the situation. You won't, of course, always play everything flawlessly. Not every pro hit every single shot. Not every 180 should be a immediately headshot and so on. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't strive for perfection, but it's okay to miss your shots. And again, notice how he is using his ability, he's saving them, and again, because he's saving his abilities and holding them, right, and really playing, you know, he knows when he has to dash out, he knows when he doesn't have to dash out. It does that he has the option in case something happened, an opportunity arises, he can follow up on the dash, with the dash, he has the effect to protect himself in case somehow he would need to deflect something, right, and that is what really does make the difference here. The way that he's playing around an area of dive, right, they're choosing where they want to go, where they want to fight. They want to fight here, for example, they're setting up, and then they're targeting these areas, for example. Okay, then the Genji should be in an area where he can reach this with his 50-meter dash, right? And that is the importance of this. That is what you need to learn when you're playing Genji, is playing in that effective range. Know where the fight is going to happen. A really good question here to ask yourself, and I wish I said this in the beginning, so if you watch to the end, you get this for free. If you want to know where your position is, if you understand that, okay, I'm supposed to be within 15 meters of the enemy team, but where is that, right? And then you understand, you know, high grounds can be really good and whatnot because you can access further with a high ground, right? Might imagine if there's a run here and you're here, then, you know, you can't reach back here. But if you're here, right, then this is equivalent of being, you know, down on the low ground behind the Rhine, just without the risk, right? Ask yourself the question, where is the enemy team going to be, right? So in this example, it's up here. Where is my team gonna be? Okay, right, so here. Where's the fight gonna happen, right? We're a dive team, we're gonna engage. So the fight's gonna happen up top where the enemy team is. We're gonna engage on these guys. Okay, so then HAKSAL knows, okay, I want to be in an effective range here. The D.Va knows, okay, I need to get up here fast and I want to be in an effective range here. The Ana knows, okay, I need to get an LOS here to both heal and nade. Okay, so I want to be here so I can hit those nades. The Lucio knows, okay, I also want to be able to engage and potentially help HAKSAL in because HAKSAL is kind of slow, right? So, okay, so I'm gonna be with HAKSAL and help him in, right? And then the Sombra fucks up a little bit with the translocator, so she can't really follow up that easily. But ideally, she also wants to be in a position where she potentially could get up here or play this angle so that when they drop, they get fucked by damage. Potentially, she could be in here, right? And then they'll damage from behind and then help shooting because, again, they would retreat this way in. So ending up with a Sombra on the back line or a Tracer potentially, if you play this with a Tracer, then that's the same, right? And you can see this throughout the time, all the time. The enemy is pushing top here. HAKSAL is top, ready to blade, right? The enemy is up here. HAKSAL should have been a little bit closer, but it's ready to engage top here, right? The enemy team is pushing through the choke, right? There might happen a fight here. HAKSAL plays here so that he can kind of get up, get down, can attack if he needs to, right? And also still retreat, right? And so on and so on. It's just this repeating pattern that he's always active, doesn't chase kills. Rather, instead of chasing a kill that he knows is difficult to get, he rather rotates back to his team, help them claim up and follow up on their damage because we want a kill. We want the easiest kill. And normally the easiest kill is not a solo kill. It's normally the thing that is targeted by your team, especially tanks, since tanks have so much consistent damage. Now that's all for this episode. Again, a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the channel. If you think that this helped you, sharing it around with others help spread awareness about dive and improve players in the community, and it is very, very much appreciated as it does help get views on these videos, which doesn't normally get that many views, but I like producing, and hopefully you guys like seeing. Outside of that, it's my birthday, so, well, I gotta kind of go. But please, guys, take care of stay positive. I love you guys very, very much. As always, my name has been Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.